Hey guys, Itaewon Sammy here. So I'm going to talk today about something that's very unique to Korea. Well, for most Westerners, it's unique because you'll only find this here in Korea, Japan, Philippines, a few other countries. I'm not sure as to how many because I'm not American. I'm not military. And this issue doesn't really affect me, so I don't really know much about it. But what it is, sorry, there's a bug. What it is SOFA, S-O-F-A. And a lot of foreigners here hear about that, or if you're on some of the Facebook groups or whatever, you'll hear about SOFA. And what that means is Strategic Forces Agreement. Strategic Operations Forces Agreement. What this is an agreement that has been made between the Korean government and the American military. And what this does is it protects the American military from, okay, I don't want to say protects. It is an agreement that allows, how do I put this without sounding biased? Basically, Korean forces, if they run afoul of the law, are prosecuted and investigated by the military, JAG, Judge Advocate General. So let's say an American military person is caught doing something illegal in Korea. Because of the SOFA agreement, the Korean justice system hands them over to the American MPs or American judicial system. That way, they are prosecuted that way. Now, that doesn't mean that the American military protects them. It prosecutes them through their system. They can, if they choose to, return the person to Korean judicial system if they wanted to. I haven't heard of it happening, but it can. So that is basically what SOFA is all about. Now there are some side things as well, and I'm going to touch base on that as well. So before I get to there, again, thank you everyone for subscribing. If you are a new subscriber, new viewer, please subscribe, or at least do me a quick favor and just hit the like button. If you really like what you see, check out my other videos and click the bell button so you know when I'm posting videos. Usually on Fridays and Mondays is when I post. So the other thing about SOFA is that it also covers importation, specifically high-ticket items such as vehicles. So if you are in the marketplace for okay, let me take a step back. It's not on vehicles. What it is American military personnel are allowed to import high-ticket luxury items tax-free. Korean import tax is ridiculous, 50-60% on luxury items, vehicles specifically. So I'm going to talk about vehicles because I have specific experience with vehicles, motorcycles, for example. So let's say I'm an American service person. I can pay to have my, I don't know. Anyway, my motorcycle will come into Korea. Let's say my Harley Davidson motorcycle. I'll bring it into Korea. Now, when I bring it into Korea, I do not have to pay the 50%, 60% import tax. I can drive it around, and if I choose to, I can send it back. Or I can sell it. Now, I can only sell it to another service person or a SOFA registered employee of the American government. You cannot sell it to a local person. Now, if you were to sell it to a local person, that local person would have to register it, get it environmentally certified, and then pay the taxes going all the way back to when the vehicle was manufactured or imported. I'm not sure, but basically, unless you're filthy rich or it is a very exclusive item, there's no reason for a local person or a non-SOFA registered person to buy a SOFA registered vehicle. It just does not make any sense whatsoever. The paperwork is insane because of the emissions. Korea has different emission rules, so it has to go through this whole process, and it's not easy. It's not easy at all. So it's just, now it depends on the product as well, because of the 50-60% markup. And also the like, for example, I could get an 833 Honda, what do they call it? Iron sight? I'm not sure what they call it. I can get one of those for about 5 million won. 5 to 8 million won, depending on its age and stuff like that. That's not a lot of money. That's $5,000 to $8,000. If I was to buy one from the Harley Davidson dealer in Korea, 5 to 8 million won is what it would cost me in America to buy that bike. $5,000 to $8,000. Sorry. If I were to buy that bike in Korea, it would cost me probably about $12,000. That's what I would have to pay. So yeah, sometimes it's, to see a bike and then say, oh, I should buy that, and then to look at the cost to get it from SOFA to Korean, it's just sometimes it's not, even then it's not worth it. But it looks like it might be worth it, but it's not, because you will have to pay that markup. You'll end up probably saving about $1,000, $2,000. But the amount of work that you have to go through to get it done is just ridiculous. So you'll see lots of ads for SOFA vehicles. You must be SOFA registered, etc., etc. So that in a nutshell is SOFA. It prevents, it's like sort of like diplomatic immunity, but they're not immune from prosecution. They're just immune from local prosecution. They get the hammer dropped on them from their military tribunal, maybe not to the same extent. So for example, victimless crimes like drunk driving or things of that nature, yeah, they'll get in trouble from their military tribunal or whatever they call it. But if they commit a sexual assault, an assault, murder, that kind of bodily harm, robbery, then you're looking at some serious trouble. I'm not sure what happens in those cases, but the civilian that was injured can sue in civil court against the person, be they military or not. It's just that the initial investigation is handled by the Americans. Now that doesn't just cover Americans; it covers all forces that are here. Okay, you know what? I don't know. I will attach a link at the bottom detailing that, but I'm pretty sure it covers all UN forces, because it's not just Americans that are here. There are United Nations forces that are here as well. Not to the extent of the Americans, but there are UN forces here as well. So I need to check that out. So I'm gonna post a link at the bottom detailing that to the wiki page, I guess. And one of the other interesting things that you will notice in Korea is that the Itaewon City Council has authorized the military police to patrol Itaewon area, the nightclubs and the bars and the restaurant area. So on Friday and Saturday nights, maybe even Thursdays, you'll see the military MPs walking around. Now they're unarmed. When I first came to Korea 10 years ago, they were armed with sidearms. But recently, I don't know when it happened, but they no longer carry around sidearms. So what happens is they'll walk around and they will go to the blacklisted or restricted venues, the ones which are known to either have been causing trouble or that are, you know, bawdy houses or whatever. So they will go to these places and they'll walk inside and check out to see if there are any service people inside. And if there are, they will arrest them. Now, the MPs have power of arrest over military people only. So, how they get to find out if you're military is obviously, they can either recognize you, or what they have is they have a Korean police officer with them. And a Korean police officer can ask you for your identification. Provide it. There's no, like in America, stop an ID. No, you have to provide identification when requested at any time in this country. I'm gonna have another video shortly about the differences in laws and rights between the West, what we're used to, and what the reality here is in Korea. So they'll get the Korean police officer to request the ID. And then the Korean police officer will indicate, yes, this is a service person, and that's when the MPs take over. If they're not a service person, they'll let them go. It happened to me one time. I was walking, and because I'm bald from behind, they approached me and tapped me on the shoulder and asked me, if I was a service person. I just turned around and looked at him, and right away he knew I was not a service person because I guess I'm old. And I think at that time I had a beard and it was all gray, like grayish and stuff like that. So a goatee. So he kind of figured that I wasn't. Anyway, the police officer was the one that was asking. I said, no, I'm Canadian. And he's like, oh, okay, sorry, have a nice day. One time at my club, they tried to get in. And I said, no, we restrict entrance. And then the sergeant or whoever was in charge, the MP, he calls over the Korean police officer. The Korean police officer says, and I said, no. And then my security came over and said, and I said, we're already blacklisted. You're not coming inside. You can restrict them from coming in, but you become put on the blacklist where soldiers aren't allowed. But now that the curfew has been rescinded on another, so originally it was 3 months, that ended in September last week, and now they actually extended that for another 3 months till December 17th. So they're testing whether the curfew can be rescinded. So what you're noticing right now is a lot of American service people in Itaewon enjoying the time, etc., etc. But because Yongsan base is been reduced in personnel, these are people who are coming up on 24-hour, 48-hour passes from FeiyuTech. So they'll come to Seoul, spend the weekend in Seoul, and then go back. So it's not as many, but I'm noticing more and more. Anyway, so that's what SOFA is all about. Sorry for the long vlog. I appreciate everyone who stayed till the end. Itaewon Sammy, living life. I'm out.